Hi all, so welcome to another day on this JMeter training. And as a recap, currently we are discussing this topics, which is JMeter element, sub-elements, and their attributes in details. Mm. Now we have discussed till here in the last session. We will proceed ahead. So we will talk about loop control. So loop controller also, like almost we discussed what it does or when we need that, right? Or what was the scenario when we will be needing that, correct? So that is discussed. Now we'll just see its implementation. Right. We'll be talking this is- Okay. So logic. Sound okay. Now those four transactions, right, which needs to be repeated, correct? To book order, select the pet, product ID, item ID, and add to cart. Right. Yes. So what we will do, we'll put that in loop controller. So how to do that? Just right click on simple control, add logic control, and loop control. Yeah. Now we can move it here, login. Then this on. This 4 will control X to cut it and control V. So now these 4 are inside loop. And here loop number it means how many time you want to do. So what will happen once like whether it is one user or whether it is 1,000 users, right? All will come till login, they will do the login. Then they will loop this O transaction depending on this setting or the number that we have. Now this will do what? It will help in like that help in achieving that scenario where we discuss. Suppose we want to book more than one product, three products, four products, or that to different products, right? So how to do? So this way, we will any user, right? One user or 1,000 users, they will do select a pit, click on product ID, click on the final one item ID, and they will add it to cart, and then they will start it again. So this way, they will suppose you are giving three here, so they will do this three times. Correct. If you are giving four, they will do it four times. So this is internal looping, right? One is external loop, outside one. This is internal loop inside the business flow. We are uh, looping the things. So I'll show you also, like just for one user, like let's say user, and suppose three here. I'll give three. We'll see. It's something we have spending. So let's start. Okay. There is some assertion failure here. What I'll do, just for understanding purpose, I'll just disable this assertion. Okay. Then we will run it. Then I'll come back and discuss. So you can see that let me start here that one user only, but it has looped. I had to select a pit, right? Select a pit one time, then product ID, then item ID, and add to cart. Correct. Then again select a pit, again product ID, again item ID, again add to cart. Then again we have select a pit, then again product ID, then item ID, and add to. So 3 times it has done this. Right? 3 times this has been done. Then after that proceed to checkout. So we have after that proceed to checkout another. So in this final add to cart which is here, if you go and see, there will be 3 items. So 3 items are there, right? So that is the beauty. Right. So, so it's happening, correct? Now, think is that see one thing. So, hope you got the idea what it does, right? There is no such doubt in this. It's two things here. I'm just going to have a good view. Yeah. This thing you do not have to add. This I'm just adding to create a gap so that when I run, we'll have a clear idea. So I'll run it again. It's happening. One time, two time, and 3 times. Okay. Now we stop. Now we will check it. Now next thing. So this is what it does basically. Okay. Now one thing that we see here is suppose in this add to cart, do you see okay, this time it has added same item 3. Okay. Same item ID 3 quantity of that. Okay, this is also this scenario. Or let me run it. So here see 1, 2, 3, 4, and again 1, 2, 3, 4, and again 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 time or 4 transaction getting 3 times. Now you see one thing here that this all item, suppose here this time it's clearly booked 3 different items that user, right? But one thing I want to say you is that this is how it works. That is the internal routing, example of internal routing. And that is the scenario like as I said, suppose we want to multiple product, how we do. So this is how it will be done. And that is where this controllers comes in picture, right? Now, here, uh, so this is what I'm going to say now, or what I'm going to discuss now is out of context. Out of context means like not related to the loop controller or not related to internal looping. One extra concept we will be discussing. Okay. So the concept is, if you see, these all actually are dogs only. They are dogs. Okay. So all types of dogs. If we go to dogs, so it's all Chihuahua, Bulldog, and Labrador. So it's yeah, Chihuahua, Bulldog, and Labrador. Right. So all are dogs. Means he has, this user has booked all three products of same main product. Main product is dog, and these are different. So it's not booking other, right? Like fish, reptile, cat. It's not. So how to overcome this? Correct. So to overcome that, what we have to do is, see here, this extractor, which is inside this login, which is CPET, right? This extractor, we have to add that inside add to cart as well. Inside add to cart, we have to add. Means two times. So just we have to do nothing. Simply Control C, both, and put it here. Control. Okay. Now, if I run, then you'll see it will be looking different products. Fine. And just stop. So here, in this last article, these all are different. One is goldfish. It's a fish. This one is Manax. It's a cat. Okay. And adult male Persian. This is also a cat. It is also a cat. Let's go on. One is Manax, one is Persian. Okay. So at least two cats and one fish. This. So two different, right? At least it's now picking different. But in that case, it was just picking, like main category was same, and it was picking the same thing of same pet. Right? So what is the logic behind is just a small trick. See, when we are doing login, right, and from login, we are extracting this pets, and we are storing in this correct variable, and then that we are passing here, correct. So once login is done, and then when this CPET, whatever it picks, suppose it has picked dog. So in this variable, what is passing? Suppose dog is passing. Okay. Now uh, after that it's coming here, and it is executing this select a paid product ID, item ID, and add to cart. Till add to cart, suppose one time it did, one time, correct. So here select a pet when is doing, it's passing dog, then product ID, one type of dog, and then item ID, final dog, and that dog is added to cart, right? Now it is looping, right? Means since we are using loop, so from here it will start. Suppose three times we have given, so three times it will do it. So it is going back, and again it is executing this request, right? Select a pet. Now when it is executing this request select a pet, then in this variable what will be? Again same dog will go, because uh, that is uh, that is here, right? That extraction of the pet is done and it is stored here. Now it is there. The same thing is there in the memory. Okay. So again here dog will be going always. Now again after that one type of dog and one item ID of dog, and then again that will add to cart. So another item will be added 2 times, but it will be again dog. Now again when it is going and repeating here, again it is executed. So again dog is there. So every time that is the reason, whether it is fish or dog or whatever, when we loop, it will be always passing that only pet. So what will happen? The same product, like suppose it is fish. So there are 4 types of fish. So, but all four, all three items that it is booking will be of fish one, or whether it is dog or whether it is reptile, it will be of that particular fate only because of this region. Because this is outside of loop and its value is not getting updated. Correct? It is fixed every time. So whenever it is coming looping like this, so every time whatever is coming from here, that is getting passed. So we have to update this value, right? We have to update this. So that is the reason. This extraction and RSA result status section handler, we copied and we put cart inside add to cart here. So when we are putting at here, understand. So what will happen? Add to cart. When add to cart is suppose first time it gets executed here. That time in this response at add to cart, if you see, suppose cards and item ID, then add to cart. So when we are here, this is the here fish, dog, reptile, cats are there, right? It is extracting any of them. Okay, again, and so from here it is extracting any of them, and it is storing in this variable. Okay, so new one. First time suppose here suppose it was dog, and this it passed here dog. Now okay, one dog and item ID, and that item got added here. Now again same extraction we are doing here, and variable name is also same. So what will happen from add to cart? From add to cart here, from response, one more another pet will be extracted and stored in same variable called cpet. That's why variable name is also not changing, cpet, right? Cpet. And that is the reason same thing we copied and pasted it here. So now another pet, whenever a new extraction will happen, so any other pet can be extracted and stored in this variable. Maybe let us say it is fish, right? Now when from here it will go here again, right? Because of loop. So now this value will be updated or not? This value will be updated because earlier this value was the value here was directly coming from here, but now this value is updated from here. Value for this variable, right? It is updated from. So next time here it will be this. Maybe means I'm saying another fish. Then again it will pick one fish, one item ID fish, and that will be added to cart. So two different items completely. Again when add to cart will happen, again it will extract another pet and store in that variable. And again when the loop control is going on here, so again here this value will be updated. It can be anything. Again it can be dog or fish or cat or reptile, right? So that is just one small trick we have to do. So these all are like when uh, you'll be able to understand only when we understand the flow or we understand the scenario, right? So this time as many time I book it will be different. So you can see one time this 4 transaction got executed one time, then this is another time, then this is another 3 times. And in this final add to cart, if you go and see, so finch is a bird. So two item of that two quantity of finch, and one is dog, so dog Labrador. So different it's okay. Now, if it is one user or whether it is 1,000 users, all will do like the same. Okay, they will do same. Fine. Next thing, so hope you got the idea what is this looping and how internal looping does and how this scenario also we just discussed will be solved. Okay. Next will be about another controller called runtime controller. Now, see, runtime controller means the execution will happen time based or duration based. The internal looping will happen duration based. Here, the looping is happening depending on some number, right? Number that is loop. Here, it will be duration based, duration or time. So before that, we will see this. That if in loop controller, if input field is blank, JMeter will automatically check the infinity. And 0 means 0. So in loop controller, understand here, suppose you are not giving anything, so automatically infinity will be selected. And all, so you do not give anything, automatically infinity will be selected and all will run in cycle. If we give 0, so that is also considered. It means that 0 loop. So 0 loop means this all will not be executed. Directly from login, control will jump to proceed to checkout. Control of execution. Execution means the flow of the flow, right? So since we have given 0, 0 means no loop, so they will not be executed. Now, next one is runtime controller, as I said. So see, this loop controller is time number based. You are giving some number 1, 2, 3. So it's similar to like how we have in thread loop. We give number, right? So depending on that number, whole thing is loop. But we have a duration also. When we set this duration, this whole thing is executed based on that time period, right? So same concept in internal looping also we have. So when we have a specific number, then we will use loop controller and it's a specific number. Right. And um, and suppose the same thing we want to execute based on time for some duration, then that time runtime control. So let's see that example. So do runtime controller again instant the simple controller, go to controller runtime and on controller. Inside runtime controller,
Hi Vicky, you are not properly audible.
not a big, okay.
Means we can hear you, but your voice is very low.
It should be fine now.
Yeah, it's fine, but still very low.
Oh, okay, okay. My mic was on. I
Uh,
think now it will be fine.
yes, yes, now it's fine.
Mic, mic was not aligned. Okay, so now this is runtime. Now in this runtime, we give the duration. So 1 minute, 2 minute, whatever. So for an example, suppose I'll give 60 seconds. So this all will run for that 1 minute, right? 60 seconds. You can see. So everything I'm showing for one user, right? Because same concept will apply for multiple users. So no need to run for multiple. What goes for one user will happen for multiple. So now you can see the same thing. This four transaction will be executed for 1 minute, which is 1 minute, which is 60 seconds. And in 1 minute, we do not know how much time it will happen, but yeah. It's going.
So instead of adding the duration in the thread group, can we add directly runtime controller? Suppose.
No, no, both has different aspects. You have to understand. That's why this confusion can come. This is for external looking when you want to run everything for a particular duration, right?
Mhm,
Duration based test, endurance testing, as I said, or
mhm.
hourly based test. This is internal. Only few transaction inside if you want to loop or control, that time this controllers comes in. So here we whole thing is not running for 1 minute, right? Only these are running for 1 minute. Or in the loop example also, this whole thing was not running that we have done. Only these were looping itself, right?
Mhm.
So conditional based inside the scenario, if we have to execute them certain times, or this is loop and runtime, but we have so many other controller which have different views. You will see parallel is one's only another output. So they have different views, switches there. So they are conditional based. In some according to some condition, if you want to control the execution, then we use that. So do not compare this with what is there at this level. This is totally different thing. Why I'm saying is I'm just giving an idea that what happens here, same thing happens here also, but difference, a huge difference. Here, these things only these are executed. These are executed on one time. But this is suppose we are executing 60 seconds or 6 time or 5 time.
So suppose I have one flow. In one flow, I have two services calling, right? So if I wanted to like first service wanted to run for 1 minute only, which is scheduled for the thread group, and the another
Mm.
service is involved with the some APIs which is triggered that service. So I can add that like suppose only for that APIs I wanted to run multiple times for the 1 minute. So that time we
Mm.
can use this runtime control.
That time we can do, yeah, like that inside.
Okay.
Yes. Mm. So yeah, so we see here that it ran for 60 seconds. This is the final add to cart, and in 60 seconds, how much product it has added? So it has added to this many products, and all are different. This is some are podal, that's dog. This is cat. This is cat. This is dog. Dalmatian is a dog. Dog. This is reptile, and this is bird. So all different. Dog. Uh, cat. Cat. Dog. Iguana is a reptile. Finch is a bird. You see, all different.
Yes.
Okay. Now, next one is we have random order control. random model. So what it does is it executes any one of its child function or request randomly. So this is not that much of info, but even we will discuss. Okay, so there are some changes that actually I'm making this example. Random, random and random mode. Yeah. So random first, random. So controller. Okay. So what random controller does is like suppose for an example, see uh, this this we cannot simulate in like real time. I do not have example for this. But understand, like suppose there are different requests to select different things. Okay, suppose there is one transaction to select a fish, or another one is for dog, another one is for cat, one for reptile, one for bird, right? And if you want to execute anyone randomly, okay, anyone randomly, that is what. So that is what it does. Okay, so this mm, yeah, it executes any one of its child transaction or request randomly. Any one, understand? Any one. Okay. So what it will do is, out of this fish, suppose fish, dog, reptile, cat, or bird, anyone it will pick. So I'm not executing all actually. PS4, and then we have this all PS5. PS5 almost I have segregated in total 5. Then we have PS06, 7, 8, 9, right? So this all I have escaped, and then we have last one. So you can see login, right? Login till login it has happened. Now here out of 5, it has just picked this one. It is not 5. Okay, this one. And then it came out of this you can say this group or this loop or this control, because out of this 5 it has to pick anyone, and that it picked, and then it came out and it executed 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Like that. So this is how it works. So it will pick anything randomly, even if it is multiple users. Okay, so they will pick all different randomly. So like we have users, can add some users. So I'll run for 2 users. Okay, login for Jojo has failed because Jojo is not registered. I just simply give it. We should have some genuine users, then it is fine. So let me check. Then we have some genuine. Okay. All of it. Wait, I have to register. So this is what a little bit random. Every time you have to do, or every time after 1 week they will deregister for users. This problem. So we almost got 20 users registered. So we will see in future. This will become under PCL coding, where using user registration scenario, we can print the users to a file. Always like every time no need to register them. Yeah, fine. Now I ran for 2 users, and you can see. So if you see out of this, right? So there we have one is select reptile. So we have 2 users. Okay, one is starting with 413 and one is 911. Okay, so the 413 has chosen this reptile, and then it came out from that and it executed 678. You can see here 6, 7, and 8. And then this 911, he has picked this T3, this one, like that. So out of 5, they are picking randomly any one, that you have to understand. Okay, and if multiple users will be there, they all will pick anyone randomly. Okay, so that is what random order controller does, and it is not of that much usefulness. Now same thing, we'll see this. Sorry, that is what random controller does. Okay, anyone it picks. Now next one is random order. Okay. So difference is a little bit different. Random and random order. Okay. So this random order, what it does, it executes all of its child transactions randomly. This one is executing anyone, understand? Anyone randomly. This will be executing all. So what is the difference? Correct. The difference is like it's a random controller. In random controller, suppose inside random controller, what we are keeping, we have kept 5, right? 5 transactions. So it is picking anyone, understand? Anyone randomly, right? Randomly. But in random order controller, what it will do, random order, it will execute all, but randomly. Randomly. Understood? That is the only difference. Now, what is this all and randomly means? See, generally sequence always happens in hierarchy, one after another. First, the second, third, fourth, like this, right? So, uh, so generally this would, if this is not there, so like fish, then dog, then cat, in hierarchy, in sequence. This is how execution happens, correct? But if you want to execute anyone randomly, right? So that time we can use anyone randomly or all randomly, then we can use this random order. This 5 file. Yeah, yeah. And I'll just run for one user first, so that we have idea. You can see. Okay, it failed. It failed because of some assertion. Since these examples I'm making from my side, so um, I'm just changing with some script. So this is happening. So my purpose is like just make the example and show you. So that's why I'm using some transaction of same script, right? I'm making it like it will look realistic. So some changes I have to do. Okay. So you can see they all executed. One user got executed, but this in sequence, right? It's not in sequence, no, right? Generally, if it should be sequence, then T1, T2, T like. But do you see they all got executed randomly? So this is all getting executed randomly. And in random, what was there? Only one. Out of this five, only one randomly. And this is all getting averaged, right? Shuffled, you can say. You can fine. So that is random order control. These are very easy. Plus, they will not be useful also. Like I have started, as I have stated about them yesterday session, like only 11, 10 or 11 are important. These are not of importance, but yes, we have to know them. Then we have interleave. What interleave will do? Uh, interleave will execute only one of its child transaction. Okay, means now what is the meaning of child transaction? Understand here I have written so many times like child transaction or child transaction. So understand like here also child transaction means what? Whatever we are keeping inside this, whatever transaction. So those are all child transaction of that, right? Or whatever those five transactions we kept inside that, so they are child. Whatever those five we keep inside that, they are child, right? Now what it does is basically see, uh, it works well. This interleave works well when we are running a loop based or iteration based test. Means either loop or duration based test. So in that, what we will do? Suppose in inside interleave, suppose this is IC interleave controller, and in that inside that you are keeping suppose five transactions, correct? For an example, four or five. So what it will do is, suppose it's one user and three loops for an example. One user and three loops. So in first loop, it will pick this and it will leave this one, all four. Okay, interleave. Now when since three loop we have given, so now when next loop will start. So in next loop it will, since in previous loop it has already picked the first one, it will not pick it now. It will pick the second one. So that's why it is sequential. It will pick the second one and it will not pick others also. Fine. Then suppose third loop is started. So in third loop, since first one is already picked, okay, it will not pick. Second one already picked, it will not. It will pick the third one. Okay, third one. Then it will not pick others. This is what it does. Interleave. Inter means intermittently living. Okay, so interleave. So it executes only once of. Sorry, it executes only one of its child transaction or request per loop per iteration sequentially, leaving the rest. Each time the execution iterate itself, means iterate like loop itself, it will pick the next child transaction or request in sequence, leaving the previous one. It works efficiently when looping is there. Okay, so we'll see that. Example. Okay. So if you see here, we have 5 transactions, T1, T2, T3, T4, T5 inside interval. And what I'll do, I'll run for one user and 3 loop, because it will work well when we have loop based test or duration based test, right? So suppose 3 loop, as I said. So we'll see what will happen. After login is done, then out of this 5, understand, it will pick the first one in first loop, first loop, first one. It will pick this and it will leave other. That's why it's called interleave. And then it will come outside, it will execute this or it will execute this. Whatever are in middle, I'm just I have disabled that so that the execution happens fast. Now, when 3 loops we have given, right? 3. Now, when again uh, loop will happen, next loop. So again, after enter home page, enter store, sign in, login. So when it will come here, so now out of this 5, see, first one it has already picked. So now it will not pick it. It will pick the second one. Plus others again, others also, it will leave. So interleave, right? Leave. So in second loop, second one. Okay, second one it will pick. Now then it will come outside of this and then it will execute suppose PS6 and sign up. Then again next loop. So now in next loop, since first one is already picked, it will not pick. Second one already picked, it will not pick. Third one it will pick. So third is third one. So it's like that. Okay, like this. Suppose 4 loop are there, so it will pick 4. 5 loop is there, so it will pick 5. Now suppose 6 loops are here. Then what it will do? So in 6 loop, since in first loop, first, second loop, second, third loop, third, fourth loop, fourth, fifth loop, fifth. Now in 6 loop, suppose 6 loops are there, then what it will do? There is no 6 item, right? Only 5 item are there. So again, it will start from top. Like in 6 loop, it will pick the first. In seventh loop, it will pick the second one, like that. So intermittently, it's living and picking, right? It's like that. So we can see now. Patient. So let us so this is see, this is first loop done, and it picked the T1 first, and left and leave the other. Now here second loop was done, and that it picked T2, right, T2, and it left the others. Then in third loop here, it is picking T3, this one, and it's leaving the others. Right? That is what interleave. Okay. Now next is once only. what once only does, right? So see, once only it executes its child transaction or request only once per user or per execution of test. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of per user or per user and per user and per execution and per execution of test? Right. So it executes its child transaction or request only once per user and per execution of test. So what is the meaning of this is that in suppose you are running one loop or five loop, or whether our best test, one hourly best test like 20 minutes or 1 hour test, right? Whatever. So whichever test you run, in that for every user, whatever we will keep inside that, whatever child transaction or request, they will be executed just only once. Remember, only once, right? One time only. So it can be used to perform launch or login or any other transaction that needs to be executed only once for a user per execution of test, especially useful in duration based test. Right. So it means that means sometimes this scenario can happen, and it is asked in interview also, remember. So as I said yesterday, this is controller is not important, but it is interview question. Yeah. Like they ask that suppose you want to execute some transaction one time and other transaction multiple time, then how will do? Okay, so some transaction minimum one time, another transaction multiple times. Okay, so that is where we will be using it once only controller. So how it works is like let us say that we have till login we want to execute only one time, and then this rest we want to execute multiple times, means either multiple times. So how we will do that? Okay, so those which we want to execute one time, we will keep inside one time control. So right click on simple controller, add logic controller, and once only control. It up here, this all control X, put it inside this. I put in that, and I'll not run all few, so I'll just disable this so that we will have the idea. So now we'll run. Okay. So running means same one user and suppose five loop will run. So now we'll see. See, in general scenario, suppose if it is not there, then if I give one user and five loop, then what will happen? Everything will be executed five times, right? Everything from beginning to the end, everything will be executed five times. Correct? It is correct. Right? In first loop, this all will be executed one time, then second line one more time. So total five times. But now this time, since we have given this inside once only controller and loop is five, but this will be executed just one time. And these we can include all also, but just to have execution faster, I have disabled this. This all it will be executed five times. So we'll see that. Till login done. Now see one time. Okay. This assertion failure is looking it's problematic. Um, We'll see. Okay. See, yeah, one time now, this is loop start. Okay, one time. And from here to add to cart to one time, right? One time done. Then again, this is 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, 5 time. So as I said, this all will be executed 5 time, but here due to some problem, right? Uh, again, there is some issue. Why it's failing like this. So see, this is this all got executed one time. Then we have loop started, right? So 5 loops are there. So this 1 loop, 2 loop, 3 loop, 4 loop, and 5 loop. So they all got executed how many times? 5 times, right? But this one only once. First time they got executed and they are not getting executed. Uh, Even though suppose you are running a duration based test, 1 hour test, but and in that if you keep them inside only, so they will just execute one time, and rest of the transaction which is outside they will be executed for like that. Okay, so that is what once only controller does, and generally they can this can be asked in interview question, but in general this is not a useful, again this is also not a useful controller. Okay, because the same thing we can achieve using loop control, man. Because suppose this all we want to run for 5 loops, or suppose 1 hour also. So we can put this inside a loop controller or runtime controller, right? Runtime controller. And this will be as usual outside, right? So we know that how it works. We have just seen, right? This will be executed just one time, and this all, if this all are kept inside loop controller or runtime controller. So in loop controller, suppose you have given 5, so they will run 5 times. Or if we have given 1 hour using runtime control, so they will run for 1 hour. So this is much better approach compared to this once only, which is having a negative approach, because it will not work in real time. Why? I'll tell you. See, just to show you the example I have shown. But suppose this sign out after login, then you are running all this. Then sign out will happen, right? Okay. So one sign out will happen, and again, if looping goes back here, so this will throw error directly because you are sign out. You have done the sign out. So in real time, when you use this, it will not work. It has a problem. Okay. Just for interview sake, you can remember this and answer to them. But those fellow also doesn't know that it has a problem. The scenario can be very much easily achieved using loop controller or runtime control. Okay. Why it will be problem? Because see, suppose I'll enable sign. Okay. I'll run this in front of you. So you'll see that till here, okay, login done, and then sign out done. Now this fellow has done the sign out. Now when next loop is happening, so this will be just executed one time and it is done. Now they will not be executed in next loop. So failure is happening or not? Failure is happening because here it will throw error that you have not signed out. So sorry, you have not signed in. The sign out button is not there. Sign in button. So in the real time implementation, it has a problem. Only better if you want to loop this 1 hour basis or loop basis, so use loop controller on time control. So like already we have done here loop control. So this all we have kept inside loop. Now when we run, so this will run one time only. This will also run one time only. This all you can run how many time you want, right? Whether you want to run for 5 times, or if you instead of this you want to use runtime, you can use for hourly based, right? Duration based, or this is for loop based, right? So that is much better approach solving this problem using instead of using this. Okay. But in interview they asked like I want to do like this, then how we will do that. So you have to answer it that using once only you can do. But in real time when we will go it and use, it has not a good implication. Because what we'll do one sign out will happen, will not work. Okay. Next is parallel controller. So parallel controller already we have seen. Right? Parallel controller, I've explained yesterday also. We have talked about that in this session here when we were talking about login and asynchronous calls, login of no commerce website. That time we have covered this parallel controller. Use of this is covered. After that, we have another controller called throughput controller. And parallel controller is also a plugin. It is used to handle asynchronous calls to execute them parallel. It is very similar to web concurrent function in load runner. We have a function which is web concurrent. So this is similar to that. Now next is throughput control. Okay. So we'll talk about that. Okay. Ah, now throughput control, what it does, first you have to understand that let me just match it. Okay. So see, it's a misnomer. Okay. Throughput controller is a misnomer. Now, what is the meaning of misnomer? Misnomer means wrong name given. Okay. In JMeter or in performance testing, throughput has a totally different meaning. Meaning of throughput is uh, transaction per hour or transaction per request per minute or request per hour or request per minute or request per second. That is the meaning of uh, this. Okay. Throughput. So throughput means request per hour, means how many requests got executed per hour basis or per minute basis or per second basis. That is the meaning of throughput, right? Now this throughput, which is here, which they say throughput controller, it has nothing to do with that throughput of performance testing, right? So that's what I said. It's a misnomer, means wrong name given. because this controller is a misnomer. It does not control the throughput, or it has nothing to do with the throughput of performance testing. Understand? Simply they have given so people can get it. Then what it does, right? So it controls the number of execution of child transaction on request in very similar way how loop controller or runtime controller does. Okay, almost like that, like either based on loop or some time, right? But in different way. Okay, so it actually loops the child transactions or request. It will loop them, correct? But like how runtime or loop controller is doing, but in different way. Okay, now what are those two ways? There are two ways using which uh, it will execute the children, or you can say two modes are there, or it has two attributes. So one is total execution and one is percentile execution. So in total execution, the child elements are executed until a specified count is reached. After that, the subsequent executions are skipped. Okay, so to configure this, choose total execution and specify a value. So we'll see that. And in so particular count we have to give in total execution, and in percentile execution we have to give the percentage. Okay, correct percent. So we'll see. Let me use this right simple control, photo control, output control. Now, so what I have done, you see, inside output there are two requests. Okay, and here in output when you check that the attributes about output controller. So here based on, by default percentile execution is selected, and in this drop down when you choose total execution is there. So first we'll see total execution and then we'll talk about percentile execution. Okay, and then there is also one thing called per user. So we'll see each of. Now, uh, suppose I have chosen total execution, and here I am choosing 3. Okay. Now, to understand it much better, we have to run in, yeah, like this. You have to increase the user. Suppose you have 4 users and 5. So first understand. Okay. So let us say 4 user and only 1 loop is for an example. Now understand. See, 4 users are there. It means that 4 user will be running all this till here, and only loop is there. Means all 4 user will execute from here and they will finish. They will not loop because there is no loop. So how many time each one will be executed? Unless 4 times, right? Each one will be executed 4 times. Correct. Now suppose I'll give 5 here in loop. So what will happen? The same 4 user will loop them 5 times. So now 4 into 5. So each one will be executed 20 times, right? 20. So we'll see that later on. First, let us run. So all are going to get executed 4 times, but here we have given just 3. So we'll see what will happen. Okay. Better thing. So okay, so 4 users are executing that. Fine. So this is 4 users and only one loop. Okay, so will not work there. Okay, forget it. Here what you have to see is T1 and T2, which is inside power output controller, they got executed here. T1 and T2 one time. Then again T1 and T2 one time. And then again here T1 and here T2. You can say one time. So how many times? One time plus one time plus one time. 3 times. Right? 3 times. Then now if you see other downside, they are not executed. So T1 and T2 one time. T1 and T2 one time. Again T1 and T2 one time. So total 3 times. And all others has been executed 4 times. You can see here in aggregate. Oh, okay. Aggregate report will not come good. Why? Because we have changed the names. Okay. So it will not come. Name is different. Like I have used your username, so obviously this will not merge. But let ignore. So understand just here. So see, enter store. How many time it has executed? You can see here 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time. Enter store 4 time. Right? Like that. All if you see sign in or login or this P06 one. If you see P06, P06 one time, P06 two time, P06 three time, P06 four times. See, everything 4 time. Or sign out also you might have seen 1 time here or 2 time here or 3 time here and 4 sign out. 3 time done. Somewhere 1, 2, 3. Any sign out. 10, 2 time, 3 time. Here. Sign out. Okay, maybe for one user here it has just stopped, right? Because of some error is there. That's why sign out didn't happen. Due to some error. Okay, just failed. So sign out. I just stopped. We can take this out. Okay. So understand here that all what I told that all will be executed 4 times. So all got executed 4 times. But whatever we kept inside Thoroughput, they got executed depending on their number of execution. That is called total execution. I see. Irrespective of how many times they will be executed, remember, irrespective of how many times they will be executed, the child transactions or child elements which are there inside Thoroughput will be executed depending on this. Suppose you have chosen total execution, so depending on that many time. Okay. Right. Suppose if I reduce it to 2 for an example, 2. So this one will be executed 1 time and 1 time. It's 2 time only. And others will be executed 4 times. You can see. Here. Now sign out is 4 times. Suppose here 1 sign out and 3 sign out. 4 times, right? Like you can count anyone. Suppose this one also you can count PS06 for 1 time here, 2 time here, 3 time here, 4 time. As usual, 4 times. But this one, T1 and T2, how many times? So T1 and T2, T1 and T2 1 time, and again T1 and T2 2 times. Only 2 times. All other 4 times, but this one is only 2 times. That's it. Now in this also there is one setting called per user. When we choose per user, so it means that each user will execute it two times. Okay. In this last execution, irrespective of the users, it is getting executed just 2 times only. But now when we have selected per user, so it will be by each user 2 times. It will be like this. You can see your this is user called 911 T1, and again T2 911, and again this another 13 T1 and 13 T1. So how much it has happened? One time by one user and one time by another user. Okay. Then again, if we see here, T1 again by one user and again T2 by same user. So one more time plus T1 and T2, right? You see, again by another user, one time. This is a combination, so we have to treat them as only one, right? Not separate. So now it has been executed by each user one time. Okay, making it in total 4, right? Or suppose even if we increase it 6 here, so 6. So suppose all are 6, but how many times this will be when we select per user? We'll see. So even it is 6. So everything will be executed 6 times, but this is executed how many times? We'll see. T1, wait, I'll write it here. T1 one time, T1 one time, because we have to create a pair. 13, 13. Okay. Then 1, 1, T2, T1, T2. Then here 37, again T1, 85. Then 37 T2, 85 T2, T2. Then downside if we come, till 85 we have calculated. Now after 85, right, after again T1, so again T1, and we have T2, T1 by 31, T2 by 31, and T1 by 15, and again T2 by 15. So T1, T2, T1. Okay. So when we understand when we are selecting per user, right, per user, so this time behavior is different. Means what? Each user is executing it one time, right? So we have 6 users, so one user executed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each user is executing one time. Okay. But on the other hand, if we do not choose per user, so they will be just be executed 2 times. T1 and T2 one time, and T1 and T2 one time, means for 2 times, not more than that, right? Not more. So that is how it's actually confusing controller. Okay. Plus it has nothing to do with the throughput or controlling the throughput, which is here. It's a wrong name given. Okay. It just executes or control the number of execution of child transaction, like how runtime controller loop control does, but little bit different way. Okay, little bit different. Got it. Now same thing, we have another mode called percentile mode. When we have percentile execution, so suppose I have chosen the second mode, which is percentile execution. So in that time total we have seen now percentile, right? So in percentile it will be percentage basis. Okay, percentage basis means suppose I'll give 20 here, 20. means was 20%. 20% of total execution, understand? So total execution first we have to decide. Like let us say, if I give you 6, 20% of 6 is how much? If it is in even number, then it's good
One
to
point
understand.
something.
It's in point, no? So that example will not be good. 6, 1.2. Wait. It is coming in point. Okay, ignore. We'll give 10 so that we have a clear picture. So 20% of 10 is 2. Okay, 2. So that is how it will be. It always see these values or number of execution that we see is calculated based on total execution and total execution that we decide here. Okay, so all is going to be executed since 10 users are there. So all are going to be executed 10 times, right? But understand here it is just 20%. Means 20% of total execution. So total execution is 10. So 20 by 100 into 10, right? 20 by 100 into total execution is 10. So output is 2 only. So they will be executed 2 only, 2 times only. So we will see. We can see. Yeah. So do you see here? You can see here all got executed 10 times. You can count also. Each one, this one, or uh, yeah, or this one or this one. Everything got executed 10 times. It's clearly visible. You can count this enter rest of only 1, 2, 3, 4. Then here 1, 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, 9, 9. 9 is coming almost 10 times, right? And here 10. So like that, everything got executed 10 times. But these two, which are inside Thorough, how many times they got executed? If you see, so let's see. From top to down, when I'm scrolling, here is T1, T1, and let us say its pair T2 is here. Then again, one more T1 here, and downside if we scroll, T2 is here. So see, only 2 times, as I said, right? 2 times. Okay. So here also 2 times, and in previous when we are selecting total and then we are giving 2 here, it's working in same way. Or if you are executing percentile and then giving 20%, it's working in same way. Okay, only thing like so depending on total executions now. So it's clear, right? We have seen no need to execute one more time. Clearly 2 times, like T1 here, T2 here 1 time, and T1 here and T2 here 1 time. Okay. Now so we are almost done now, finishing. So per user, now in case in this case, suppose I'll choose per user, then what it does, we'll immediately see. Almost we are done. So this is very confusing controller actually. Their name, its name is also wrong. It has nothing to do with Thorough, but they have given its name as Thorough. Okay, now when we have given chosen per user, so how many time it has executed? It has not executed.
Times nothing.
Why it is 4 that we can go into 6 because 6 is failing, that is fine.
Is it due to the calculation is less than 0 point something?
Oh, it's like that.
Huh. If we calculate that. So it is something 0 point something. So
Like how you are calculating?
I did like one user multiplied 20 by 100 like twice.
Okay. One user multiplied by 20 by 100.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if we do 20 here, so we at least we should give one, get one time, right?
Right, something.
Yes.
Mm. No.
Interesting. Here now six last. It is executing in last. For the per user basis. Okay. Uh, uh, then we'll do more steps. Wait, what if we increase user to 40? Just it has executed more time, but even though suppose per user we did, so 20% of what was earlier where 20 by 5, 25, right? Here I have given 25, so it is 100. So 20 by 100 into 5 is
1.
12.
1. 1.
1, 1, 1. It means each user one time. Yeah, correct. So each user one time means we can check here. So 1 T1 1 2 only T1 I'll count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. Then so accounting. Okay, we'll do it. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 15 at 2 not 1. Just call 2 not 1. Yeah. So 2 not 1 here. Here. 15, then 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Correct. So each user one time it has done. Correct. Like last time when we choose total execution, then we choose per user. So each user are executing one time, right? So now also in percentile same. So total here we have given 20 and this was 5. So total execution is 100. So now 20% of the total, which is coming to 1. Yeah. So now we are getting some value. That's why we are getting something. That time simply giving 20. Why it was not working? Because 20 by 100 into 20 is nothing actually. It's less than 0.
Yes.
Less than until we get a value more than 1, right? So uh, minimum if we give 100 here, then it will show the result. 100 if we give.
So this throughput will like control the not on the child part, right? Like for it will applicable for only single request. Like suppose if we here set the 2 or 20% anything, so each request is execute.
No, not each request. Whatever is there, they are executed that many times. Whether
Okay.
you keep one or whether you keep multiple. Okay,
Yes.
it will be more better to understand if we remove this one and we'll get more. But anyhow, might have understand what it does.
Yes.
If we do like this, then in aggregate report we'll get a consolidated stuff, because this user name is impacting the result displaying of the. Yeah. So now if I run 20, suppose here I'll give 1, 50, 60 I'll give 6. Now in aggregate report we'll get something. Object effect from 100%. Okay, I think it didn't went inside because calculation is not happening. Minimum 100, let us. This one is not working. It's not entering inside this loop when we do for user. If I'm do not doing it, then it works. It is fine. That's working fine. So all thing will work. So that's why I said this is actually confusing controller. It's working behavior totally different depending on different settings. Here this per user will only work when there is a loop, some loop. If we give suppose 30, then 20, then it is coming up with some results. Otherwise, it's not entering inside that. We have given some. So some result is coming, executing in the last year. So you can try. This is how it works. I have just explained. So you can try. But only thing, remember that it also just control the number of execution of the child transaction depending on two modes which are there: total execution and percentile execution. In that also there is another setting of per user which changes the whole behavior completely, right? And this whole thing is calculated on total execution. How much is total execution, that you can decide, and depending on that it is calculating whether total execution if you are doing. So like this total, understand, this is main total which we give there. So out of that total, suppose you give 20, so only they will be executing 20 times. If per user is there, so each user will be executing that one time or 20 time, whatever, right? Same goes in percentile mode. So when we choose percentile mode, so if it is 20 means 20% of total execution which will be calculated from, and that time it will be executed. And again if you choose per user, then also then it behavior will little change, but in the last it is just controlling the execution of its transaction. It has nothing to do with controlling the throughput which is here. Yeah, plus its behavior is also not abrupt, you can say not good or continuous. Different approaches are there, but it is asked in interview, and it is a very important interview question. Remember that they ask in interview, like very important. So I'll tell you, both are almost same scenario. That suppose some user needs to execute search a product 70 times or 70%, and add to cart 20 times or 20%. Then how we'll do that? Okay, or like suppose 40% of user needs to execute homepage, 20% user needs to execute search a product, 20% user needs to execute add to cart. Then how we will do that? So this whole thing can be achieved. Your answer will be throughput controller. In suppose in this scenario, the search a product transaction you will keep in one throughput controller, and this you will keep in another throughput controller, and then you will give whether 70 or 70%, whatever, or this will give 20 or 20%, right? In this scenario also we have to use three throughput controller, one for this, one for this, and one for this, right? And then in each we can set like suppose percentile 20, 20 or 40, like that. Okay, so this is how their answer should be. In load runner, actually this scenario thing is executed using action blocks, multiple action blocks we can do, and we can do percentile execution or number of execution, and same thing, same kind of scenario is achieved in JMeter using throughput control. And in interview they ask like this, so this, so throughput controller will be your answer. Okay, simply answer that, no need to go in that much detail whether it is working or not. Like we have seen its behavior is different, no need to explain that much, just understand that okay, throughput controller percentile based, if they ask that particular transaction some percentile or some time, some particular another transaction some particular percentile time, then that many throughput controller you can use separate and just assign the percentage or number there. So that is about throughput controller, and that is the last controller for today. From tomorrow we will talk about from here, from switch controller. So these controllers are very important. We'll talk about them. So that is for today. So thank you for attending.